All right, so today's video, we are going to be reacting to a video by Popcorp. We've seen a few videos, really well done. We did a previous one on like the tank UI, a lot of really cool videos. Again, definitely worth checking out Popcorp's channel. This video is one called Fixing the Worst Perks in Overwatch 2. So I'm actually curious to see what the fixes are and what are considered the worst perks, because we're kind of a little bit deeper into that now, right? Like we've been playing, perks have been out for almost a full season. You know, we're getting to the next season now. So I'm curious to see kind of where perks have ended up. What were considered a worst perk a month ago. Are those perks better now? Are these, all of these recommendations better? Let's find out.
Given a choice between Quick Draw and Past Noon perk, most of the time you're going to pick the first one, for a very good reason. Ouch. But what about the other perk?
You know what's funny about that perk, by the way? Sorry for pausing it right away with Cassidy. You know what I don't like about that perk? I always forget that it exists, so if I pick that perk, right? I right-click it.
Yeah.
And I forget.
That is not the only case where
so
one
I don't
perk
use
is
it.
almost always better than the alternative. So how do we distinguish a good perk from a bad one? And how can we make some of them more viable?
Yep.
Let's
I choose
find out.
Past Noon. I choose the Noon one now,
If we
yes.
take
And they made it better
Roadhog's
sense.
for a second. Can you tell me which one of them is a better option? The first one is an obvious choice. If you're shooting Reinhardt's shield and end up breaking it, you're most likely going to end up hooking him towards yourself to start dealing damage.
You need yes.
But there's a good chance that you'll end up using all your ammo on destroying his shield, so you cannot actually finish him off. Unless you have his Scrap Hook perk enabled, which then gives you 2 extra ammo to help you out a little bit.
Yep.
Now let's look at the alternative. The uses for this perk.
So I do want to point out the Pigpen one has been improved since then, if I'm correct. I forgot exactly what it did now, but didn't they increase the damage on it or something too? I'm not saying it's amazing, but they've made it better.
Throw it at the enemy team
since then.
But they'll most likely end up destroying it before it activates. The most common thing to do for Roadhog's trap is to combine it with his hook, by hooking an enemy to your trap and dealing massive amount of damage, usually ending up eliminating the hook target. In other words, the first perk will result in dealing more damage because you'll have more ammo after hooking a target.
Yes.
While the second one is for very niche situations.
But it's improved since I guess he's...
And if we look at his major perks, then it is no longer obvious which one you should be picking. Both options have their situational uses.
Yep.
You can use the first perk to disengage faster from a fight, or even do the complete opposite and use it to chase fleeing enemy players.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like if I have to go right away with the Hog one, I see the Hog pick the Invigorate one a lot over the Take a Breather, also heals nearby allies. But I wonder, in hindsight, wouldn't you build ults quicker on the Hog Dragon exposure? But I think Invigorate makes more sense for the Hog playstyle, right? And thank you, chat.
While the second major perk gives you some supportive properties.
Does it give you ult charge?
To heal your team.
But you're not usually with your team as Hog.
Boring perks more interesting. I don't want simple stat boosts like these ones. I want all perks to be viable. So let's go through some of the perks that are not that good, and let's try making them better.
I'm listening.
Since we just talked about Roadhog, let's start with him. We'll be changing his Hog Toss perk and give him something else. One of his main weaknesses is his mobility. Sometimes there's going to be this Junkrat player just spamming your team from a safe spot. And there's not much you can do about it, unless you want to walk across the whole map to get to him.
Was this
and
Dorado?
sure, some other tank heroes also can't reach him, but they have tools to protect their team, or they have vertical mobility.
Or you have the damage, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what if Roadhog could also have some extra mobility, by using his pick pan as a launch pad?
I like that, actually. I kind of like that. It's kind of funny. I kind of like that, to be honest. I'm not even... Honestly, that's kind of cool.
Is that you're sacrificing damage and area control for mobility, in comparison to his other perk, which just gives you more ammo and therefore more damage.
And it gets rid of the pig pen, so that's your trade-off.
Roadhog becomes something
it's kind of cool, actually.
I don't know.
I wouldn't like it, but it's cool.
Give you a choice between offensive and defensive bonuses. However, the barrier duration is not as impactful as a defensive perk.
And they made this longer now on the shield. They also made the shield longer now. So, it's a little bit better.
It's barely any different. So let's shift this perk to his Nemesis form.
Let's see what it is.
Ramattra a perk that essentially takes his block ability and converts percentage of inflicted damage into temporary overhealth that will be applied upon returning to his Omnic form.
Let me see.
Which will be capped at 200 overhealth. I'm also adding an icon below his crosshair that will indicate how much overhealth is stored for his Omnic form.
Okay.
This perk will allow you to survive just a little bit longer. And you also have to decide how long you want to stay in your block position. because every second in block position is you doing less damage and less pressure to the enemy team.
I mean, can I be honest with you? And I've been talking about it recently with Ramattra. Ramattra, in my opinion, is more of a block like tank nowadays and trying to go and actually like get kills. So like a lot of the gameplay, at least that I have to do as Ramattra, is just holding my right click. Like I'm lucky if I can even do the right click punch combo before I take like 80% of my HP. So my only problem with it is it keeps that playstyle like even more of a thing here if that was the perk difference. But I think what the reason why they did the shield one is they want to give you two different options to play Ramattra, not force you to be like, well, I guess the first one does. So I guess like, but I feel like the shield can add a different dynamic. I don't know. It's weird to say. Like, I don't even, I think, okay, here's my take. I think that they shouldn't like get rid of perks. It's like sometimes they should just add more perks. Then you have a way to like build your character before you play. That's a whole different thing that they may never do. But imagine having like 6 minor perks that you have as Ramattra that you could go in and then add those as your perks. So you can then build your play style based off of how you know you'll play. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but...
The Short Circuit perk deals 30% more damage to deployable objects, like Torp Turret and enemy barriers. However, in most cases...
Stadium's build. Stadium's a little bit different because you have like a talent tree. That's basically what that is. I'm saying like you have an option to like be like, oh, I like these 2 perks for minor perks, and there's 5 minor perks they have, and you're like, I want these 2. I'm going to have those as my loadout going in. I think that's making sense. I don't know if that would actually be good or bad or work, but I like the idea of even more choice there, but...
Turrets or breaking shields.
Okay, here we go.
Winston's job is to dive in, disrupt, and secure kills, not slowly zap barriers. A much more rewarding perk will be one that complements his natural playstyle.
Okay, what's that?
Take, for example, his classic jump, zap, melee, zap, melee combo.
Can I be real with y'all, chat? I know I should probably do that as my combo. You know what my combo as Winston is? Jump in and hold my left click. I know that, like, technically you want to do the jump zap melee combo. I do the jump melee combo because I have, like, the muscle memory from Overwatch 1 to the point where, like, you barely even see the animation when I do it. But I'll be honest with you, at a certain point of it, I just, you know, as much as jump zap melee sounds great to me, I just go jump melee maybe.
This technique saves nearly a full second compared to just zapping an enemy.
Yeah, I'm taking the extra second.
What if we rewarded his playstyle?
Hey, by the way, it is a good idea to get that playstyle done. I'm just laughing about that because I know my Winston. I'm like, yeah, you know, I could do that, but
with a perk that resets his jump on a melee kill. This will let you either chain dives more effectively or immediately escape after securing an elimination.
Not a bad idea. Only question I have, and maybe people in the YouTube comments will be able to tell me this, or even Twitch right now, how does the Echo reset feel? I only ask that because I feel like when I play Echo, I am not able to secure the kills I need as much sometimes or get them consistently, so I feel like sometimes I waste the perk by like the flight. You know how you have like the flight reset on Echo? I wonder how that would feel if it's only based off of melee eliminations.
As we know by now, the past noon perk refunds you 30% of ultimate charge if you allow it to expire.
This is at 40% now, by the way.
You are using it more as a zoning ult, forcing the enemy team to take cover.
I want to see what the concept
But
changes.
let's be real for a second. Whenever you activate your ultimate, there's a good chance that you can get killed, slapped, stunned, hacked, hooked, charged, blocked, consumed, rocked, nuked, use it to reload, deflected, stomped, disconnected, diffed, punched, and a small chance of actually getting a kill. So when you think about it, the chances of every Deadeye fully...
Except, and anybody knows this storyline, can anybody show a, can I get one of the editor to go in here and show my experience against Cassidy, was it yesterday or the day before, where every Cassidy in the game kept high nooning right in front of my face and killing me? Dude, that was... I don't think you understand, chat, what just happened. You saw that, right? How was that the interaction I had when I bashed? Like, look at that. I don't know why, but for some reason on Monday or Tuesday, it was high noon in front of me Monday or Tuesday. And I would get high noon with people 2 feet in front of me, like 20 games in a row, and there were different Cassidys every time. I don't know what was going on.
Expiring aren't that high. So instead of letting the enemy run away and hide, let's make it harder for them to escape. By introducing a new perk that gradually slows enemies down whenever they're in Deadeye's line of sight.
Can I be honest with you? I hate this, but I also don't mind it. But I hate it. Because If I'm Cassidy, I love this. If I'm against Cassidy, I hate this.
May's Ice Wall perk increases both its duration and cooldown, which in my opinion is more of a nerf than a buff to her wall.
Kind
Why,
of,
you
yes.
might ask? Because Ice Wall is relatively easy to break if the enemy team...
I talked about this too, where like you can just break the middle one. You only need to break one pillar for everybody to fit through it. It used to be different at the beginning of Overwatch. If you didn't know this, you had to, like, depending on the hero, you'd have to break multiple pillars. Like if it was Reinhardt, you'd have to like break multiple. They made it so you only have to break one a long time ago.
Focuses it down.
Yep, and that's it.
A longer duration doesn't mean much if it just gets destroyed. And yeah, we can probably just slap extra HP to the wall
Which
on
I
top
don't
of
like.
the duration. But that will be...
I mean, you've already seen this with like Symmetra Teleporter, right? Where like you add extra HP and like people eventually like, yeah, I'm good on trying to kill this, you know? Like,
be kind of
you don't want to
boring,
get to
in my
that
opinion.
point, right?
So instead, let's do something fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody would love to see this.
Yep, you guessed it. A perk that allows her and her teammates to move faster.
I actually don't mind this perk. I think
The...
I don't mind this perk because this was really fun during the April Fool's event a couple years ago. I wouldn't mind something like this. I like this is kind of fun and actually has a good use case for it that you would be able to do. You could also like this could change up team comps, right? You wouldn't have to run like Lucio comps because you could just have your main lead you in like that. You could have some really fun concepts, right? So I don't mind this one. Yeah.
Ice sprayed floor. This also applies to her ultimate.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Junkrat has the exact same perk as Roadhog. His trap gets thrown 50% further. And yes, we can also do the same thing and throw a trap behind the enemy team. But
Yep.
let's be honest, most of the time you're setting it up on a flank route, near your team, or in some sneaky, obscure corner. And in most cases, the enemy team can clearly see them.
Not I. If there's a Junkrat trap and it's in front of me, I don't see it ever. Everybody else does. I have this thing where I just don't see it. And then when I do see it, I fly over it, make this amazing play, be like, oh yeah, I flew over that Junkrat trap. That was unreal. And then I just walk right back into it because I forgot about it 3 seconds later.
Depending on the trap's placement, of course. But what if you could place your trap without it being so visible? With this new perk, Junkrat's trap will now be completely invisible to the enemies.
Right.
Unless they get close enough to it, at which point it becomes visible. This way, instead of enemies instantly spotting and destroying your trap, they'll have to watch their step more carefully.
No, thank you. Please, no. I see these from 100 meters away and I run into them. Please don't give me a 4-meter window. Please. I'm going to be in this every time.
One of Juno's major perks allows her to headshot enemy players, while the second perk gives her extra mobility. The reason why you should avoid picking the second one is because Juno already has a lot of mobility.
Yep.
You can already reach most of the places with her double jump and glide boosters. A better alternative will be giving Juno a choice between more damage or more healing.
Okay.
If you're not into flashy kills, like this one, then boosting her healing output would make more sense.
Okay.
And the best way to do that is to give Juno's primary fire healing a trait similar to her pulsar torpedoes, adding healing over time effect. And yes, I did say that I don't want to give perks just stat boosts,
Yeah.
but for this one, I'm making an exception.
I mean, it's...
And finally...
When it says also heals over time, it would depend what the number is, because then you would hit like a problem with ult charge again, where like the ults will come too quickly, but yeah.
Lucio. Well, there is not much I can say about Lucio, to be honest. Almost all of his perks give him more DPS, except this one. So the best thing to do is to get rid of this perk and replace it with another DPS boosting perk.
Can I be honest with you? That perk right there on Lucio, that's the one I use because I am not an aggressive Lucio. I'm more of like a kind of in between. So like I actually like that Lucio perk because I can basically build, I just heal so much. Once again, I'm not saying it's the Lucio perk that you'll probably go, especially a lot of Lucios who like the increased attack speed. But I love that perk because I can just basically not have to be near my teammates and just get massive heal. I don't know. I want to side note on that one. I just like that one.
Perk. I hope you all like it.
Never mind. You can replace that perk if that's the one.
Let me know which silly perk ideas you have on your mind. And huge shout out to Mr. Fly Guy for making these changes in the workshop. I'll see you all in the next one.
Heck yeah. Another awesome video by Popcorp. Again, make sure to check out Popcorp's channel. This has been a very consistent kind of series that Popcorp's been doing. We've seen you know, you can see it right there. Team up abilities, one UI change, etc. They've been really, really cool videos, so definitely make sure to check them out. So the videos are really, really cool. And yeah, I hope you like the video. It was a really, really cool one. I thought that was awesome. I love watching these. It's always cool to give some feedback on them or kind of give my thoughts and all that. So it was really cool. So yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTubes. All of them, if you haven't, leave a comment. All that helps. And if you ever want us to react to certain stuff, my Discord's where you can post videos for us to react to. And outside of that, we also record these live on streaming. See a Twitch app with the webcam. Also stream on YouTube. So stop by if you haven't. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.